Fun stuff.
Good evening, Prescott Valley, and welcome to the Tuesday, April 11th, 2017 Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Cindy, can we have a roll call?
Chairperson Frere.
Here.
Commissioner Brinkman.
Here.
Commissioner Avalos.
Here.
Commissioner Fallman.
Here.
Commissioner Gummer.
Present.
Commissioner Trovini.
Here.
Commissioner Polikin.
Here.
Very good, thank you. Moving on to the next item, the approval of the agenda. If everybody's had a chance to review tonight's agenda, I'll accept a motion to approve it or any changes that need to be made.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the agenda passes. Next item, approval of the meeting minutes from March 14th, 2017, regular meeting minutes. If everybody's had a chance to review those as well, offer any changes. Otherwise, I'll accept the motion to approve minutes as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 14th, 2007, as written.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that passes. Next item is moving on to announcements from our wonderful Director of Parks and Recreation, Mr. Brian Whitty.
Easy now there. All right. Coming up Friday, April 28th, from 10 a.m. to noon at George Anderson Park will be our annual Arbor Day celebration. Please come out and join us there. As currently, as we talk, we have 160 students scheduled to attend with us that particular day. We have opportunities for the first 500 that are in attendance to receive a free Colorado blue spruce sapling, also lovingly referred to as a baby tree. They're cute. So please come out and join us. George Anderson Park is located off of Superstition Drive, which adjoins Navajo. So that's how you can find us out there. Do that wonderful Google. But we're going to love to be able to beautify the grounds at George Anderson Park. We have 6 trees that are coming to us. 4 of those have been donated, compliments of Prescott Valley growers. So we're very happy to have that. And we're also going to be joined by Kaler Landworks, Landscape Works. They're going to assist us as well as members of the Prescott Valley Early Birds Lions Club. So come out, join with us. We have all kinds of great information. We're going to learn about how to plant trees, the benefits of trees in our community and around the world, and a variety of different other activities to go along with that. So encourage everybody to do that. Again, Friday, April 28th from 10 a.m. until noon. All ages are welcome. There is absolutely no cost. This is 100% free to all of our citizenry there. Join us at George Anderson Park, again, the intersection of Navajo and Superstition.
Good. Next item is update on the Battle of the Bands.
Yes, our 20th, believe it or not.
20. Wow.
Yes, Buzz.
20.
20. Yeah, I know. I know you were in shock.
Yeah, 20.
20th Annual Battle of the Bands. This will be held again, as it has for the past 20 years, at Mountain Valley Park on Saturday, May 20th. Gates open at noon. Performances start at 1. Admission is $4, except for those with active military and children under the age of 3, and those folks are free. Come out and join us. We've got all kinds of fabulous sponsors that are on board. We have the Wolf radio station, Magic, KDDL, also Rewind 92.5, 100.1, Affinity RV, and our partners, Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce, and putting on this event together with us. Come out and enjoy some fabulous tunes and entertainment coming from the Instant Classic, 99 Years, the DL Band, the R.D. Olson Blues Band, and Funk Frequency. That is your lineup for the day. So we'll have all kinds of food, adult beverages, compliments of Budweiser, along with all kinds of water bottles and sodas, all kinds of goodies, some other activities. Tons of tunes all out on the green grass at the Mountain Valley Amphitheater and the Amphitheater Athletic Field. So join with us again Saturday, May 20th. Admissions $4. Gates open at 12 noon.
Outstanding. I know that's a great community event every year, so hard to believe it's been 20 years already.
Kind of dates us, doesn't it?
A little bit. All right, next item is pool season update.
Yes. If you do not have it on your calendar, please do so. Saturday, May 27th is the opening of Mountain Valley Splash. So we'll open the doors right then at noon for our public open swim. If you're still interested in joining our team as a lifeguard, we do have applications available online with starting pay at $10.50 per hour. Our season will run through May through the end of July, right before the school season starts up. So join with us. We have all kinds of different activities and availability of ranging from swim lessons to aerobics, lap swimming, all kinds of different fun and activities. The Aquatic Center is also available for rentals. So if you'd like to have a family or neighborhood pool party, feel free to give us a buzz there at the office or visit us online at pvaz.net.
It's bound to be a good year. All right, moving on. Director's report.
Yes, I'm happy to answer any questions the commission may have. I have no specific highlights, but I'd be happy to answer questions concerning my specific reports or any divisional reports as a whole.
Seeing none, we'll move on to the chairperson's report. I'd just like to thank the commissioners present that went to the extravaganza this weekend, and sorry I wasn't able to attend. It was a family birthday party weekend for one of my sons. So, but Mr. Brinkman, if you'd like to update us.
A fantastic extravaganza. I don't know what the attendance was, but it was very well attended. And we did have a little wind, but we had a lot of folks out there enjoying the day. Buzz was there all day. They had a welcome tent set up by the curb, and this year we had the tents up on the grass. I kind of like that. But it really went very well. And it's just, I think, a really important event for the community. When I looked out over the crowds and saw all those kids out there and thinking, well, this is the future of our parks, and this is, you know, why we try and improve them and put in play equipment. It was a lot of fun, so a great event. Buzz, I'm sure you probably can add to that.
It was. I mean, every year it gets bigger, better. 10,000 eggs this year. Took seconds to pick them all up in the age groups. It was, and even this year, the entertainment before the hunts, schools, dancers, unbelievable entertainment from our young youth. Growing up, we sometimes worry about our future of our youth, but after watching those kids and performing and thinking, I mean, we have nothing to worry about in our future with our children anymore.
Performances were really outstanding.
Unbelievable, and well put together. Everybody, all the sponsors that brought their tents and booths and free giveaways. Freedom Station, out of their way this year with a climbing wall, a bounce houses. Everybody was having a good time. If you didn't have a good time, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
And we did surveys this year as people came in, and everybody was accepting surveys. They were filling them out and dropping in boxes, and hopefully it was all good and positive on how things are going. But well attended, well liked,
Right.
fun for all.
Well, definitely to that point with the surveys, yes, quite a few glowing remarks. But as also with those surveys, areas of opportunity for us to be able to improve and enrich the experiences that are out there for us in doing that. So, matter of fact, we had a wonderful email come in today. So that is part of our wrap-up discussions and analysis that we're going to do, as we always do at the end of all of our events, and taking into consideration how we're might able to make those adjustments and make it better than it was just in this year. And that's every year's aspirations of doing that. You mentioned those surveys and the opportunities. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, 3 of those survey respondents received pool passes to go at Mountain Valley Splash, so that was part of the excitement around that. So everyone could participate in those things. And not only, as we all know, it was extravaganza, but it was also the Family Arts Festival, one and the same of those types of opportunities. And that's where all of those fabulous young people came from, was not only the participation in the Town of Prescott Valley Arts and Cultural Services, but it was largely the reflection of our school systems in the surrounding community here, both charter as well as a large number of that was from our Humboldt Unified School District in their participation. So you saw the Seussical musical introductions that they're working on their spring program for, a lot of the vocal choral groups and those types of things. So yes, in a lot of ways we do not have to worry about our young people in this community because of the enriching experiences that our school system's providing, as well as then also all of the hands-on artistic opportunities that were available. And that was, again, highlighting those school systems and their opportunities. So if you have young ones that aren't in school yet, that was the perfect opportunity to engage with them and learn more about their school and the service that they provide and the value of arts in that educational system. So that was the win-win of that environment and experience, as we have done for 14 years now of doing Extravaganza and the Family Arts Festival. So.
And then along with that, in each hunt there was 3 magic tickets in an egg. And to see those kids come up on stage and have their winning ticket and get their first, second, or third place egg filled with lots of toys and goodies. Pretty neat stuff. Those kids coming up on stage and what's your name, and they were shouting out their name and their smiles and pictures, and great time for everybody.
If anybody's interested, there are some pictures in the e-news, Prescott Valley e-news. There's a group of pictures. Not everybody knows you can go in there, but there's a description of the extravaganza and a really nice group of pictures, and the look on those kids' face tell you it's really worthwhile.
Right. Join us on Facebook as well. So get all of that good photo shot opportunities as well, too.
Outstanding. Anything else? Okay. Moving into Tree Advisory Board business. Happy to announce that we've been awarded Tree City USA again for probably the 12th consecutive year in a row.
Something right in that vicinity, yes, sir.
So, it speaks to all the work that people that have come before us and that still sit on this commission and the Tree Advisory Committee have done to help garner that attention and those distinguished awards. So, congratulations to the town for that, working right into Arbor Day. Okay. Any questions for me regarding that? Okay. Next is the old business, the fee policy approval update.
Yes, happy to report a warm thank you from Town Council to each and every one of you for your participant engagement and recommendations as it related to the fee policy, on the facility use policy and the related fees with that. Included in your packet tonight was the request for council action dated back on March 23rd. Action was taken with that with full acceptance of your recommendations that were given. And as we know, they were a full review of the entirety of the policy and its updates. Not only were there some adjustments within fees, and unfortunately in this case, increase of those fees, but not across the board. These were specifically related to those impacts coming out of the Prop 206, which was the minimum wage increase, in which we went from $8 an hour all the way to $10. And by the time we're done with this, as part of that incremental phasing of the Prop 206 minimum wage increase, when we round things off in 2020, we'll go all the way up to $12 an hour, and then with a percentage of the annual cost of living increases, that will be part of that review as well, too. So thank you all again from the Town Council for your help, your recommendations, as they have been incorporated, and those policies became effective as of that evening. In doing so. So that will be reflected and shown on our aquatics. That will be the first group of folks who will have notice of that, as well as then also our athletic field tournament rentals, things of that nature, game preparation purposes, those types of things. Those are the general items. When we roll into the fall season, all of the new facility allocation processes. Those will be updated as it relates to sponsored to co-sponsored, in which those groups need to have a residency requirement of nothing less than 50%, as well as then also going into our ice season. We have a marginal increase there that will go right off the bat. We'll skip a year and then do it again another year, and then we'll be going through our review as we do every 2 years. So we'll now be looking at that 2 years from now in regards to where things are going, how Prop 206 is staying or going, and how things work now. So we'll be reviewing those, and then we'll also be forecasting in regards to what has been the cost of living increase and what should we be preparing ourselves for, because year 4 will actually be the year in which the 2020 plan goes into effect for Prop 206. So those are some of those items we'll look at. We'll see what those impacts are as it relates to then also that compensatory time that now is also part of Prop 206, and what those related impacts are as well as too, and if our forecasting was sound or if we need to make other adjustments as we go through those processes and our recommendations in that 2-year analysis period. So that is where we're at, but thank you very much from the Town Council.
Okay. Moving on to the next item is the North Central University Archway donation. You have an update for us on that?
Yes, I do have an update for you, and it's a heartbreaking one. Unfortunately, is one of the elements that we discussed at our last meeting, and I thank you all for your approvals and acceptance. However, at this point in time, it wasn't but just about not even 48 hours after your approvals, we found out as one of the items that we requested was understanding the provenance or ownership, in which North Central University thought that they were the owners of that. They are not. And I'm giving the same report for another element to our Arts and Culture Commission that we were also being conveyed a gift as well. So that plan, that idea, that donation to the town will not be moving forward, and will remain with that property formerly known as North Central University.
Okay. That's heartbreaking. I thought it would look good out at the trailhead.
Very, very much so.
Oh, very good. Moving on to new business. Meet me at the park.
Yes. I know each of you received some correspondence from us. You've received probably several e-blasts, whether they be from the e-system or the Rec 1 system as enrollees in regards to our programs and services. But this is a fabulous opportunity that's a partnership program in which the National Parks, Recreation and Parks Association was a benefactor from the Disney Association and that conglomerate group out there that includes ESPN, ABC, and all the other players in that particular group. They have donated a healthy amount to a number of communities that are already there, but they have a $20,000 community challenge, basically, if you will, in which each community rallies their community members around them, and they go into the National Recreation and Park Association's website and they nominate their community. What that requires and what we're looking at right here is that website entry page, and that website entry page is nrpa.org/be inspired, and that is their campaign. Meet me in the park and be inspired. And this is an opportunity for Prescott Valley to be nominated, and if selected, win a $20,000 park makeover grant. Okay? If we're selected, that decision making and recommendations will come back to the commission in regards to which park, what feature, what process that we go through. But until that point in time, and from now all the way through the end of April, we need our community members to support us. And that is to go to this website, again, nrpa.org/be inspired, submit their email address, and then it will take you then to the next page, and you will put in Prescott Valley. You'll select Arizona for the state. You'll hit your submit button, and that's it. That's all you have to do. You can do it one time every day from now until, again, the end of April. All of those submissions add up. Hopefully we'll be in the hunt. Hopefully we'll come out on top, and we'll take the $20,000 and put it to work for us. The other beautiful part about this is every time you make a submission listing Prescott Valley, you will be entered also into a raffle to win a notebook. So this is a win-win opportunity for all of us. Not only our community, Prescott Valley Parks and Recreation Department, but you as a submitter in helping us win that grant for a notebook. So join with us. Let's go meet in the park. Let's get this done. Let's win it. Let's bring it home. And in the meantime, while you're out there enjoying yourself, whether it be a birthday party out in the park, soccer's going on, baseball's going on, you're fishing down at Fain Lake, you're hiking the trail, whatever that case may be, take a picture, submit a selfie, send that in to hfoster@pvaz.net. That is our communications coordinator. And she wants to post that out there as part of our inspirational piece, because you should also be getting, if you're hooked in with us, getting little notes every single day highlighting a park in Prescott Valley, reminding you about this opportunity of getting involved with Meet Me in the Park, the National Park and Rec Association, and a $20,000 grant for Prescott Valley Parks and Rec. So get on board. Let's get this thing done.
I'd just like to make note that when you vote, they will ask you for your email address, and then in turn will thank you for submitting a vote.
That is correct.
So it's
Yes.
a very nice way to go about it.
Very much so. And if anything, go ahead and add 5 or 10 new email addresses and just use them for this month, and then delete them all when you're done. No, I'm just teasing. But tell all your family, your friends, I don't care if they live in Rhode Island. They can still vote for Prescott Valley. So get it done. Make that thing work.
Very nice, and what a great opportunity to put some much needed money into our parks. Any other questions? All right. Playful City USA.
Yes, I did want to inform the commission for the last 3 years. This will be our 4th year. We're formulating our submission for Playful City USA status. We're only one of a little bit over 300 communities in the U.S. that hold this. And this is, again, it shows the network, the partnerships with our schools, community service providers, Boys and Girls Club, all of those different folks of the value of parks, recreation, playgrounds, trails, all of those different amenities that make living and fun worthwhile. And that's what this boils down to. So just to give you an update, we're just like with Tree City USA and the Growth Awards that we've been successful for well over a decade with. We're working forward on that. Appreciate your support, your comments, your direction in regards to these things over the year, and we're hard at work in making that happen so we can celebrate a 4th year with that designation and recognition that not many communities do receive.
Very good. Okay, next item is the volunteer appreciation banquet scheduled for Tuesday, May 9th.
Correct. Staff is before you this evening in regards to providing you with a recommendation that the May 9th Parks and Recreation Commission meeting be declined in lieu of the fact that we would love to have you in attendance at the Town of Prescott Valley Volunteer Appreciation Banquet in doing that. So we are asking you for an action item on this particular subject and making that recommendation so that we could all be free to go support those that support the town through volunteerism. It is a fabulous event. We actually have a former award winner sitting here with us tonight. Kudos to you. You will be dethroned now. No, you never give up that throne. So
Day long.
in doing those things, but let's definitely go out there and support them. I think you'll see that there's a candidate out there that might potentially be connected to this commission and all of their efforts and work there, and we would love to have you there in support of them.
Very good. And I know last year's event was a lot of fun. So with the increase in the minimum wage, does that mean the minimum number of desserts to be consumed by commissioners raises too?
Well, it actually decreases, unfortunately, yes.
Flipping coins for dessert.
So with that, I'll accept the motion to cancel the May 9th regular commission meeting.
I'll go ahead and make that motion to cancel the May 9th meetings in lieu of everybody being able to attend the volunteer appreciation banquet May 9th.
And do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the motion passes. Okay, next item on the agenda is the commission meeting dates and the discussion for fiscal year 2017-2018.
Yes, this particular item and the next relate to conversations that would typically be taking place in May. So we're forwarding those for you tonight. So thank you very much for that cancellation. What we have presented to you is a historical picture about your future, if that makes sense. And I say that from the standpoint of there are typically 2 months during the calendar year that the commission has chosen not to meet. That has typically been July. There's a lot of activities. There's also a lot of vacation time, travel, all of those different types of things that are going on. So if you find that that would be of interest again to you and continuing that historical trend, we would move forward with the removal of the July date. We would then continue as typically August 8th, September 12th, October 10th, and November 14th. Again, those are second Tuesdays within each month. Again, historically, we have selected not to meet within the month of December, again, for a variety of different reasons related to events, travel, and other activities going on at that point in time. And then continuing January 9th, February 13th, March 13th, April 10th, May 8th, and then concluding on June 12th. Again, all second Tuesdays of the month. As it currently sits, I do not foresee any holiday conflicts or anything like that. We are steering well clear of Valentine's Days this year, as I heard from a number of those different folks saying, how dare you? But I knew you all shared the love for Parks and Recreation dearly, and I appreciated your commitment for that. And I think it worked out wonderfully well in doing such. And then that would be staff's presentation of your calendar for fiscal year 17-18 for your consideration. There is one other element to this, if the commission so chose to do such. And this, again, would be a discussionary item for either tonight or when we meet back in June. And that is, does the commission wish to continue hosting their meetings at 6:30? And would you want to change that time? And that time could change to 6 or 5:30 or whatever works best for those members of the commission.
I'll just speak up. For me personally, I think 6:30 works well. Allows for transition at home to go from one parent to the next with dinner being in place and then meeting at 6:30. So personally, it works well.
Yeah, I have no problem with 6:30, but being retired, I'm pretty flexible, so.
Well, 6:30 is usually my bedtime now that I'm retired, but I'm willing to accept the 6:30 also.
And it looks like Pat can ride down here by 6:30, so.
Still light.
Still light, yeah. I got lights on the bike, so we're good.
Okay, perfectly fine. I know it's been a general conversation in years past. I just wanted to present that for your consideration. It sounds like 6:30 should stay fine, so no adjustment. How does everyone feel in regards to the July and the December historical context of not meeting during those months?
We've done typically this type of schedule every year, and I don't see any reason to change that now. I mean, July is typically vacation time for a lot of people, and it makes sense not to have a meeting in July. December is always very busy with the holidays, and that also makes sense.
Okay.
I agree. I think the historical schedule that we've kept ever since I've been on the commission anyhow is fits the needs well, easy to track, easy to keep mindful of. So,
Well, and plus it gives Brian and his staff maybe a couple months to take a break, do something with their family maybe.
Buzz, don't tell stories like that.
Yeah, I know.
You know, on those months we don't have meetings, you're in that office and you're wanting to know all of that, cracking the whip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get it
Yeah.
done.
The Grinch shows up in December. Trust me, I know.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
so
Okay. Well, super. If everyone's in concurrence with this, then we'll move forward. We'll make those little adjustments for July and December. put that together and have that on your agenda for review, reflection, and adoption if you so choose. And we'll be ready to go.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Forward to seeing it in June. Then the last item in new business is election of officers.
Yes, this is the one Commissioner Freyer's been looking so forward to. And this is to remind him and all the other commissioners he's eligible. He's eligible because he's only had to do a partial. That really doesn't even count it as his first year. Would you concur with that?
That's exactly right.
Okay, very good, very good.
No time spent there.
Exactly. So,
Wait a minute. Now, the last elections, I think we elected those officers for what, 5, 10 years?
well, now I hate to bust your bubble on that one. So,
Did I mishear? Or?
yeah, I apologize for that. So I must have led you astray very quickly on that. But Commissioner Freyer would be eligible for re-election. As we all know, our chairs can sit a maximum of 2 terms in doing that. So Commissioner Freyer, if he would so entertain a nomination when we get to that in June, he could consider that if he would like to continue in doing that. Commissioner Gummer is on a very short term in regards to coming up here in June. His term would end, so there is a vice chair position opportunity if he would want to continue. And I know we've had past discussions and other commissioners have indicated their interest in serving the commission in that capacity as a vice chair, and thus supporting Commissioner Freyer if he is unable to attend that meeting. And then we'll also be needing to elect and appoint our secretary for the commission as well in doing those things. So that will be part of your June agenda. But I wanted to introduce and make everyone aware, no surprises in June when we come to that meeting. We will be looking for nominations and votes and appointments at that time. And then they will take those offices at the August meeting, being that we'll be skipping the July.
Just for discussion on that item very quickly, both Pat and Buzz have done an absolutely outstanding job in the term so far. And it's sometimes kind of important to have a little continuity. So I'm hoping they'll both, step up and accept another year.
Right. Well, and with that, I know Commissioner Avalos had indicated that he would be most willing to do those kinds of things. And I think but Buzz at the meantime said, hey, let me lighten your load a little bit. I'll go ahead, because he saw the short-term light. I know he did. And then he could say, oh, well, another gold star, but, hey, limited things. So and that's why I mentioned those things as opportunities out there. So, yes, continuity is wonderful. Not that we're mentioning anyone or any position or anything.
I'll be happy
like
to take a nomination again if so elected.
Be sure that's in the minutes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And since we've
And that's a
discovered,
1-year term, right?
and since we did discover the raising of fees, the raising of chairs also goes up this year.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, across the board.
See?
So, but it's based upon your current rate.
Right.
Right. So we know where that starts at.
You bet.
And then we can throw whatever multiplier is appropriate.
What he's making right now.
Exactly.
Wonderful thing.
And I do want those in listener land to understand.
That's a big zero.
Thank you.
That's a
Yes.
big zero.
Yes. As the commission serves in a volunteer capacity, as appointed by the council. Yeah.
No, and it's an honor to serve and to be part of the commission in itself and part of the community. So,
Thank you.
Okay.
So with that, is there any other discussion around elections? I guess secretary. Does anybody feel like stepping up?
We can throw that name in June.
Okay, we'll throw it in June. Visit with Mr. Whitty or myself after the meeting if you're interested. Okay. Moving on, any other items up for discussion at this point?
I'm happy to answer any questions. Bob Edwards Park is still chugging along strong. We're trying to grow that grass.
Restroom?
Yeah, when are they?
Still having those conversations and getting progress updates as we go through and working to achieve that dedication date of June 1. So we most definitely are.
I know it's a popular spot for the high school kids.
Yes, sir.
Having a high school kid, I've picked them up there in the evenings a
Good.
few times. So.
Good.
It's,
Lots of awesome comments have come from the public. They're really enjoying that walking path around the park. A number of our staff, because of our wellness committee and its very active role, the staff have already gone out with their pedometers. They know when they leave the building, go all the way down, loop around the park, and come back. They're at a mile in their walk, so they really enjoy that. Those really striving actually loop around Civic Center, adding another third into it. So it's really been a wonderful win-win, and I know when that turf takes place, there's a couple of schools and organizations that are ready to go with that. So
Very good. Very good.
While we're on this subject of bringing up the upcoming ball seasons, lights on the fields in the evenings, has there been discussed with coaches, teams, things about if they're going to be able to save the field for a certain time slot, but then bad weather, something happens, where the lights are left on the fields? Is there a way for these coaches to turn them off themselves or contact?
right.
And are we going to kind of push to say we really need to start following through with this?
Yes, sir. And that is a constant vigilance of ours in doing that we actually ask those organizations that are sponsored by the town, especially those particular groups, because that's where the majority of the use comes from, to really do an extremely strong job of self-policing and self-awareness, especially when it comes to the point of, I think one of the items that you were mentioning in there, when they're scheduling their fields, and the schedule that then is approved that comes along with that is the lights usage opportunities. But if your approvals then do not come to light based upon what your registration numbers are or those kinds of things, eliminate them and allow others to jump in and utilize those facilities as well. But if you have a weather rain out or a cancellation, or your practice ends early, or we don't have practice that night because we got a pickup game that was scheduled someplace else, take the due diligence to follow through in doing that. And that's exactly what we like our groups that are supported by the town to do. Because otherwise we're wasting resources in doing those types of things. And that's a self-policing effort. Now, we're very fortunate that we have volunteers, we have staff that are active and about in their off time that help do a little bit of monitoring of that, but it's not their roles or responsibilities, especially when you've been gifted an opportunity of doing those kinds of things. So that's exactly what we ask for in doing that. Bob Edwards is going to be another one of those resources. And just because it has a higher efficiency doesn't mean you need to choose to ignore, as with all of our other locations in doing such. And I know in years past when we had budget considerations, we removed those opportunities because of that cost in operating some of those particular sites. And we didn't feel good about that. As a matter of fact, it's still somewhat restricted in doing those kinds of things. But I know where things are at now, and we're exceeding what should be able to cover and handle things. And we're just needing that help. And we're needing those that are receiving those gifts to be stewards of that. And manage it effectively. And so we're always in regards to constant vigilance in regards to our management of those resources and communicating and asking for participation back.
Right. I mean, they're getting the fields for practically nothing.
Correct.
At all.
Yes.
And at least have the courtesy to, if you're not going to be there, think about turning off the lights, trying to save the town some money since
Correct.
They haven't put anything out either.
And the same thing goes along in regards to field equipment. Certain activities have certain field equipment needs. And when they're not managed appropriately by that particular group, and it's their field equipment then requires town staff to facilitate their removals and storage and those kinds of things, we've lost man hours to do the jobs that they want us there doing to make sure that their fields are in the conditions that they hope to receive them in. And if we lose that, those are those lost opportunities. Same thing for when tournaments come in. I hearken back to my kids, but give a hoot, don't pollute. Do the right thing. Don't throw your stuff on the ground. Pick it up, go put it in the trash barrel. Yeah, you've got to walk an extra 25 yards. Big whoopee. That's the next opportunity that's available to you. Go utilize that, doing those types of things. And again, community support factors. Those are the folks that should really jump all over that.
And plus, it's your guys pretty much out setting up fields, getting things ready for these people also.
Yes, sir.
So there's more money out of your budget, getting nothing in return.
Right. But that's, to a certain degree, yes, I understand exactly what you're saying, but that's also what's been able to support our young people, and some of those opportunities that are there, we definitely want them to grow that. And some of that support creates those economic engines that help rally our restaurants and our gas stations and our department stores and out-of-town visitors and the hotel usage and those things. But it's got to be a community. It's got to be the partnership, and it's got to be the caring about each other through that process.
Yeah, I think they just need to show some appreciation in return for what we're giving them.
Yes, sir.
They could return a little bit.
Yes, Brian, so I'm assuming that there's no timers when it...
There aren't. There,
Is that
yes. Yes and no. They're not timers in regards to when they're not there, they don't sense and turn off. Or back in the day, if you put a quarter in, you got 60 minutes of light, or you turn the knob and, the bubble jets come on the hot tub or whatever type of a thing. It's actually a scheduled period. So if you need the lights on starting at 5:35 and then turning off at 10 o'clock, which is the time in which the park closes, that's that period. But to Commissioner Gummer's point, if you're done with practice at 8:35, don't walk away and leave the lights on. Contact the appropriate liaison that's in your group that has that connective opportunity. Turn them off. They literally can do it via their phones. All they have to do is call. I mean, it's part of the service that we pay for. And they call in, and they can turn off. They're in Iowa, by the way, and they're turning on or turning off our lights. Or they have computer access, and they can turn or schedule then, as I'm mentioning, 5:35 to 9:15 of a light situation. That can be a very regular, regimented process based upon schedule and need. But if we have teams that, we're going to practice from 5:35 until 7, but then the next group that comes behind them from 7 to 9 doesn't show up or not there, that's a coach's responsibility, as well as then that division leader's responsibility or field monitor's responsibility to know, hey, we need to turn off field 4, but we need fields 3, 2, and 1 to stay in operation. No problem. You have control of that. And I think that's exactly the point that you're looking at. Or there's a rain out.
Right.
Hello, it's rained out. We're not going to be there. Turn those lights off.
Simple enough.
Yes, very, very much so. And that's the beauty of this opportunity, because in years past it was a key, open the padlock, flip a switch, take the chains off, then vice versa, and going through all that process. I don't want to get back to those days because, this makes it so much better for everyone. And the efficiencies are greater. Now we're finding sometimes the efficiencies aren't efficient.
Is this an opportunity, I think, to take it to not only the division leaders, but the actual coaches themselves of those teams?
And that is that communication
Access.
within those organizations, most definitely. Yep.
So
and then just the self-awareness and self-responsibility or self-policing to make that happen.
There hasn't been any accountability created for that then?
That accountability is with each one of those organizations and that management user relationship that we have in trying to get those things done. Yes.
Send Buzz over to the fields.
No. I mean, I've driven by many nights, and the whole thing's lit up and not a soul out there.
Right. And you know what? We welcome that conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think that's, just like Block Watch and everything too. That members of the community
Right.
are welcome to call that in as well.
Right.
We are spending a lot of money on electricity.
Right.
Is there a number that the public can be aware of?
Again, this
that they
is
can
one of
call,
those
or-
things that working with those organizations is the best way to do that. And they can always call the department because our department phones are accessible 24/7 in doing that. We may not be able to respond to getting those lights turned out in doing that, because in doing some of those things, either you're having an officer respond. Well, we don't need officers responding to lights on. Type of a thing. We want them on our roads and in our neighborhoods and doing the job that they're supposed to be there doing. Or we're paying someone overtime to go out there and field verifying those kinds of things. This is one of those things that we try to have good, constant communications. And if we're getting those updates and awareness things and we're showing and tracking that, that leads to those kinds of enhanced conversations, making those things happen.
Aware of it, you could contact that
Yes.
team and say, hey, you guys were there last night?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
Exactly. And if we know dates and times, then it starts to get very specific.
Accountable.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Any other discussion items?
I have a couple quick questions for you, Brian. I want to go back to the pool opening coming up on the 27th of May. So we're about 6 weeks out. Do you have any idea how many sign-ups or how the sign-up is going for the swim lessons? And isn't there a cutoff as far as numbers?
Yes, once we reach that capacity, and I apologize, I don't have any of those specifics in my head right now in doing that. But we do have registration sessions. I believe there's either 4 or 5 swim lesson sessions throughout our summer period. Some of them are advancing, some of them can be first time. Based upon your age and your skill sets of your children. And we do those analysis when they sign up and they have their first day so that we know based upon their skill levels which appropriate classing and placement that they have in doing those things. Our swim lessons have been very, very successful. Even with our rate changes, we're below some of our competitors' market rates from last year. So I'm very confident that that will continue to be very successful and beneficial to our community. Swim lessons are vital to everyone's experience in doing that. It is a true tragedy whenever you hear of a drowning, and we know we hear it. Those folks that are on our television stations, especially our weather folks, are always reminding us, be safe around water, be aware around water. That's exactly what swim lessons are. Not that we should ever turn a blind eye or not pay attention, even though our young people may be in swim lessons. It can happen in bathtubs, too. But it's very, very important. We are taking registrations now as we speak. We're taking pre-open swim for school, after-school parties, and our pre-school release parties. So those things are going on right now. So everything is in motion. The pool's not open, but we're getting everybody lined out and ready to go.
Plenty of time for everyone in the community
Very,
to
very
sign
much
up.
so.
If
Yes.
they're interested,
yes.
the sooner the better.
And if the first session does fill, and it always does, then when that next period comes around, and it's a timeline, there's dates of trigger as we go through in regards to doing that. All of that information is available online via our website. So if for those of us that are out there listening to our conversation tonight, go to the website right now. You see all of our times, you see all of our fees, you see all of our programs, registration timeframes, all of those good things, even our summer pool party movie night. So it is all right there for you.
And then the last question I have is regarding lifeguards. How many lifeguards are needed to adequately staff the pool for the season, and how many openings do you still have?
The more the merrier, I'll say that much. Lifeguards are a heavily sought commodity for us in doing that because of the diversity of programming that we have. We open our doors bright and early in the morning. We have facility preps that we have to go through. We have concessionaires. We have office staff. And then our lifeguards are really the bulk of everything that we do. As I mentioned, swim lessons, open swim, aerobics, lap, it requires those guards to be there. All of our pool rentals require guards to be there. Most typically, there's no less than 8 in rotation just in one of those shifts, and we have several of those throughout the day. So the more the merrier.
So good. So if we know anybody that really wants to get involved, then we just need to send them over and
Yes,
get them signed
16 and up. Actually, don't even send them to the website first. get that application in. That is the most crucial thing to get done. So again, PVAZ, you'll see it right there on the front page. Job opportunities, click that button, and then you'll be able to select immediately Parks and Recreation and lifeguards.
And a very good starting pay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? See none. Don't see anybody here for unscheduled public appearances. Moving on to item 12, the next meeting, as we just voted, will be not May 9th. We'll be attending the volunteer banquet at the Event Center on Tuesday, May 9th. Details forthcoming. So our next regular meeting in this building will be Tuesday, June 13th at 6:30, right here in the auditorium. And with that, take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And a second.
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, and we are adjourned.